We're back. The Splat Boys are back. I'm Hunter McCormick. That's Grant Russell. And we are back. It's been a long time, Grant.
Very long time. Yeah. It's been
very long time. We're both in college. We graduated.
Somehow. We made it.
We did it. We say that we both had like 4.0 something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we graduated. We're both at UT. We've both been very busy. But we are back. And we have some new updates for the show. We're only going to be covering professional sports. For reasons, if you just look at my Instagram profile, you'd probably figure out why. But we're only going to be covering professional sports because I don't know what I can and cannot say. So that's that. But we're back. Grant, how have you been?
I've been good. Good start to the year. New, whole different life now for college. I'm living in a dorm, so it's definitely a different thing. Far away from home, not really, like 30 minutes away. But yeah, it's been a good start. How about you?
It's been good. College is a bit different. I would say our college experiences are a bit different, but we are here. We have a lot of updates, sports-wise. I'm medically retired.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to cut that. Also, our production quality is not as high anymore because, like college students, we were both broke and we can't afford StreamYard Premium Plus. So, yes, we are powered by StreamYard. It did say up there we need sponsors, but it was backwards. It says we're back up there. We need sponsors. So if you really wanted to donate some money to the Splat Sports podcast, I know we have no proven success, but
one edit
and a dream that we didn't even make. But we'll be back on it. As for the rest of the Splat Sports thing, Splat Sports Network, we don't really know. It's just us two. We decided we were going to run it back. We're probably going to keep it very simple. By I mean very simple, probably just this podcast. We really don't have a lot of ideas going forward. We want to focus on this. We want to build this. We think we have something here because we haven't really given up on it. And we both really like sports. You haven't noticed. But with all that being said, no college. The formatting, probably the same thing, essentially. You're probably going to see a lot more clips. The editing's probably going to be a bit better. No offense, Grant, but I'm editing it now.
You always edited it.
Not towards the end. Towards the end I did. But in the beginning, I did. There'll also probably be some more clips, things like that, graphics. Just because we want to focus on this. We want to focus on sports. We're going to be more active on the Instagram. Hopefully more active on Twitter. That's the hope. Can't guarantee anything. So if you don't follow us there, please follow us. We want to do some other stuff. We're still talking a lot, but we wanted to get back to doing this, doing YouTube, and we're back. So thank you all for our 3 fans that have been very patient. I think most of y'all have come from probably that one reel or
tripled our followers.
The what?
Tripled our followers.
Yeah, I know. We have like 700. We almost have 700.
I know. I still get notifications. People repost it.
I do too. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But we're back, and that's the exciting part. So yeah, we're starting in January. The hope is that we can do our schedule of Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's can't guarantee anything. We both are college students. We both are pretty busy individuals. We want to get 2 episodes out a week. We want to stick to Tuesday and Thursday if we can. If not, you're going to get 2 episodes. That's the hope. That's the guarantee, barring, holidays, stuff like that. And yeah, if you have any ideas, send them our way. Guest, who knows? We don't really know. We want to get back to this. Long intro. I'm sorry. I like to yap. So does Grant. And we're about to yap about some sports. Anything else, Juris, before we hop into it?
I don't think so. Just bring it back.
Bring it back. We're back, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Starting off, the NFL season is concluded. We're in the playoffs now. And let's get our overreactions to the NFL season, Grant. We both have 3, I believe, right? You have 3 out of 3?
Mm-hmm. Yep. You want to go back and forth?
And do you want to go first with me?
I'll go first. I'll get started. My first one is, it comes off the games that happen at Sunday or Monday night, but I think that with the missed kick, I think the Ravens' playoff window has officially closed due to a bunch of their skill guys getting up there and older. Lamar Jackson, he's still going to be the guy. He's still going to be probably a top 5 quarterback, but you have Derrick Henry's getting up there. He's in his early 30s, so you know how running backs are. They typically age out around that. Mark Andrews is obviously on his way out the door. You do have a couple of young guys. You have Isaiah Likely. He was banged up a lot this year. You have Zay Flowers, who I think is really good, but he's more of like a 5 to 6 touches a game guy. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with them missing playoffs. Could John Harbaugh be gone? It'll just be interesting to see. And I think that with a bunch of changes coming ahead, the defense not being as good as they were supposed to be, that they're going to have to look at themselves and make a bunch of big decisions. And I think that they may take a step back over the next few years.
I'm going to talk about the Ravens. I'm pretty sure we are going to talk about the Ravens here in a little bit. And we have a lot of similar points. So I'm not going to really delve into that, but I do agree a lot of your points. I think there's a pretty easy answer. But will the Ravens make it? Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. My first one is Matthew Stafford has locked up his Hall of Fame nod after this season. 4,707 pass yards, 46 touchdowns. He might win the MVP. He's my MVP in my opinion. I think that he's locked it up, even though you had a bad game against the Falcons to kind of wrap up the season. You didn't end the season the way you wanted to, but still, I think he locks it up. And he's also a Super Bowl champ. He's leading in my opinion, one of the best teams in the league. 4,707 passing yards at his age. Pretty incredible. And I know what you're going to say. Well, he's in a pretty good offense. Still pretty impressive. He's got to throw the ball. He battled some injuries last year. The past couple years, really. I'm overall happy to see this. I've always been a big Matthew Stafford guy. And I think that he was one of those quarterbacks. He was kind of on the fence. He's kind of like that Eli Manning. He didn't really, won championship. Eli won 2. The stats, they're there, but they're not, I think that he locks it up after this year. I think he wins the MVP. I think that he leads the Rams on a deep playoff run. We'll cover that in a second. And overall, I really, really do think he has locked up his shot at being in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I agree fully. Him and Puka absolutely carried my fantasy team this year, so I have nothing to complain about him. I think what I love about Stafford, probably my favorite type of quarterback, is a guy just like him who can just sling it, who is incredibly accurate. I feel like with him, earlier in the year there were issues before the season about his back. Will that hamper him? But I feel like he's always a guy where, like, as the season goes on, he just gets better. He just always, for some reason, fights his way back into that top pocket passer conversation. And even though he is in a great offense, it shows that he's just a great quarterback. He didn't have great success with the Lions, but everyone knew it wasn't his fault that they weren't. And his ability to adapt these past 2 years, he even won that Super Bowl, like you talked about. His ability to do that has made him probably one of the best quarterbacks ever. Not like in the top 5 conversation or anything, but he's definitely one of the top 15 throwers of the ball ever, in my opinion.
There you go. What's your next one, G-Russ?
My next one is this one I probably need to do a little bit more research on, but I think with this year's parity, I think this year we'll have the worst Super Bowl winner in the past decade with all the parity that's happened. If you look at each playoff team this year, you can find something to where you're like, that like you could make an argument like that hampers them. Like, let's look at the Broncos. Well, they never really blew anyone out. They kind of struggled against lesser teams. You have the Patriots who haven't been there before. Drake May, I think, will be a great quarterback one day, but they also had an easier schedule. Eagles have struggled a ton. Their offense has struggled for some reason. It's kind of been a weird dynamic there. AJ Brown wants more targets. When he gets more targets, they lose. And Saquon Barkley isn't running it the way he did. So that's an interesting spot. A team like the Bills are just up and down. They have probably the best quarterback in the league right now, but that defense has struggled. So with each team you look at, with the 14 teams that are in the playoff, you could probably nitpick each time. And I think this year is probably the first time where it's almost anyone's time to win it.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think that you're going to see the top seeds. I don't think we're going to talk about our power rankings for NFL playoff teams, but in my opinion, I think it's four teams really. It's the top four teams that I have listed. We'll cover that in a minute, but in my opinion, it's another year. It's another Super Bowl. I think the game will be good. I just think that in all-time rankings compared to teams in the past, you're going to look at these teams, whoever wins it, and say, they weren't that good, but they were really good that year. So I think that's how you kind of have to look at it, in my opinion. My next one is the Bears are one and done. New head coach Ben Johnson leads them. What'd they go? 11-6, I want to say. Yep, 11-6. I think they're the 4 seed.
Yeah, they're the 3 or 4 because they won the division.
Yes, they won the division. I think they're they got to be the 3 seed.
Yeah, because you're right.
Yep. I think they're one and done. You look at Williams' stats, 27 touchdowns. Or no, this is career stats. His career stats. 2 years, he's 16-18 overall. 7,000 yards, just almost 8,000 yards. 47 touchdowns, 13 picks. Good quarterback. He took a really large step, in my opinion, this year with Ben Johnson. That's kind of was expected. I didn't think that they would win 11 games, but I think that they, when a team, they kind of overshot their yardage here. That's really what I think they've done. They've outkicked their coverage. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. They've outkicked their coverage. They've had a lot of success. My question is the defense. They're the 28th ranked defense, right? They're 11-6, 28th ranked defense. That just goes to show you how good that offense is. Yes. You get a really good defense paired with these guys, they're a really scary team. It really depends on how you handle this offseason. No, they're still in the playoffs. They can go win a Super Bowl. Let's not throw that out the window. I don't think they got a shot, but I think that they're kind of one and done. I feel like the Bears, they're going to take this step, and then next year they're going to take a really big step back. You didn't see a sophomore slump out of Caleb Williams, but I think you're going to see it next year, kind of like that junior year slump. Doesn't make any sense, but in reality, I think he takes a step back. I think this team as a whole takes a step back. Bears fans get a little angsty. We saw what happened when Matt Nagy took that huge step in that 1 year, took a really large step back. Things didn't end up very well up there in Chicago. So I'm very interested to see kind of how they handle this. But that defense, 28th total defense overall, Grant, it's not very good.
Yeah, I agree. I may not agree that it may take step necessarily. I think Ben Johnson is a floor raiser at its very best. You saw the Lions when he was with Dan Campbell and them, that they were a constant second-round playoff team. And obviously you see how much they struggled this year now. My thing, I wasn't as high on Caleb Williams, but I was very impressed with what Ben Johnson did with him. He was 7th in pass yards this year, 13th in average per game with 230 yards per game. My worry with him is there ever a time where he tries to, if they're down 2 scores, does he try to do too much? I feel like this year they played relatively ahead. They started out fast a ton. I think that really helped them. But I can see where you're coming from there. Obviously, with the NFC North, that whole division is just stacked. usually. I mean, if J.J. McCarthy can somewhat figure it out, I mean, the Vikings finished 500 this year, and J.J. McCarthy looked not good at all. So I think they could take a step back, not because of their team, but just because of who all's around them. So, yeah, that does make sense, and I can see where you're coming from there.
So, yeah.
My third one is it's kind of like an obvious one, but like I feel like you have to stay back and think, yeah, that is like pretty true and it may well. But I said the NFC South will be the worst division for at least 5 years. It just has to be. So that is the Saints, my favorite team. That's Falcons, Hunter's favorite team. It's the Bucks, and it's the Panthers.
Panthers.
Yeah, and
No, I agree.
And yeah, it's just because Bucks should be a double-digit win team in my opinion, but Todd Bowles for some reason has always struggled there. Like the offense was never a problem. He's a defense head coach, and the defense has always been the thing that's an issue there. And I'm like, why is he still there? Kind of. So, like that should be a double-digit win team. They didn't win, obviously. The Panthers won division. They finished 7-9, or 7-9. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
7-9. Yeah, it's just crazy that we have the playoffs, and then a team under 500 made the playoffs. Like, it's just, I don't know. The Panthers, I want Bryce Young to succeed. I saw him play Tennessee when Tennessee won. He was the best player on the field, him and Jahmyr Gibbs, in my opinion. So I want to see him succeed. I know what he can be. We know what the Bucks should be. They just haven't lived up to it. The Saints are just – they look better at the end of the year with Shuck. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Falcons are looking for a head coach. So it feels like all four teams outside they're all in like the wilderness almost, where it's like there's a couple teams that have the blueprint. They're just not executing it right now. And I think that if that continues, this division is just going to be just poor for the next 5+ years.
Yeah, I agree with you in a sense. I think that here's what the Bucks need to do. I think the Bucks should have fired Todd Bowles last year, got Liam Cohen, kept him. Look what he's done in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. He's built them into a really good team. The Falcons looking for a new head coach. They need to go offense. They need to go offense. They need to go offense. They went defense. They went defense. They went defense. It's not been good for the Falcons. They need to get an offense coach. Also looking for a GM. So Terry Fournette, he had a really good first round kind of record of drafting first round guys. You get into those later rounds outside of this year, really struggled. Xavier Watts, I think, is his best pick outside, and that was this year. He's a third-round pick. He leads, I think, all rookies with interceptions or something like that. So in my opinion, I think that I agree with you for right now. Really depends on the moves that these teams are going to make. Saints, I love their head coach, Kellen Mond. I think, is that who it is? Kellen Mond? Kellen Moore. Kellen Mond is Texas A&M quarterback. Never forget. Kellen Moore, I really like him as a coach. I think he's got something there. Saints just got to figure out what they're kind of looking for. The Panthers, they're young. They have some pieces there. I'm a big Bryce Young guy. I like some of the pieces they have there. You really got to see what they're going to do. And as for the Bucks, you know what you got. They're getting older. Pair them up with a good coach. Get them right. My last one are the Cowboys are right where they need to be. And what I mean by that is they're right where they need to be. You got Dak Prescott. Let's be honest, he's had a really good year this year. Dak Prescott, pretty good year for the guy. I'm normally a Dak Prescott hater. Really good year for him. Defensively is horrible. Yeah, they're bad. They traded Micah Parsons. Got even worse. Just fired their defensive coordinator today, I believe. But they're set up for the future. And what I mean by that is I think they know something we don't here, in my opinion. They wouldn't make all these moves. They wouldn't trade Micah Parsons. They wouldn't let go of Trevon Diggs if they didn't know something was up. I could see them making a huge trade this offseason. And by I mean a huge trade, I mean a huge couple trades this offseason. You got CeeDee Lamb, you got George Pickens. In all honesty, how much do you really value them? Do you value them a lot? Do you value them a little? I could see them trading those guys, going young, and just getting young guys all around. I don't really know. But that is kind of my opinion on the Cowboys. Dak Prescott, good year. You can have another year like that. You pair him up with some younger talent. You trade CeeDee Lamb. You trade George Pickens. You build up that defense. You get them some younger weapons through the draft. This draft is loaded with younger weapons. I think the Cowboys could be a little bit of a sneaky team, Grant. I know this one doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you guys see where I'm coming from here.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. And in the NFL, you got to score points. You got to have a good offense. And they have that. Now it's just finding the right defensive guys to complement that. Because with this offense, you don't have to be a top 8 or 10 defense. You can probably just be a middle of the pack defense, and you'll probably win double-digit games. I think that with this draft, it's not that quarterback heavy, but I think on the defensive side of the ball, it's really, really good. You obviously have the Caleb Downs of the world in this draft and all of them. So I think that they just need to just find a middle of the pack defense. They'll be perfectly fine. I do agree with what you said there. I am interested to see what all Jerry Jones does. He's always talking about, he wants that title. And so it'll be interesting to see how and if they can bring the Cowboys back to their 2 decades ago selves.
So, yeah, there you go. Let's go to playoff power rankings, Grant. I'm going to share mine first. Actually, no, you share yours first. I want to hear what G. Russ is thinking here before.
Okay. So for me, I value experience the most. So I'll start at 14 and go down to 1. At 14, I have the Panthers just because they're below 500. They play good defense, but that offense can't score more than 24 points in a game, and I feel like most of these teams can. At 13, I have the Steelers, who barely got in. I have 12, I have the Packers. 11, I have the Chargers. I feel like they're you can kind of interchange them a little bit. 10, I have the Eagles. 9, I have the Texans. 8, I have the Bears. 7, I have the 49ers. 6, I have the Broncos. 5, I have the Jaguars. I could move them down. I don't love them for some reason. I don't know. I feel like they had a somewhat of an easier schedule, and I'm not 100% sold on Trevor Lawrence yet because when you remember, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, I think they gave up like the 21-point lead to the Chargers in the second half or something, and that really does scare me. So you could easily knock them down some. 4, I have the Bills. 3, I have the Rams. 2, I have the Seahawks, and 1, I have the Patriots. Is that anywhere remotely close to yours? Yeah.
Number 14, I have the Steelers.
Okay.
Don't think that they really got a shot at anything. I ranked them off of who I think has the best shot at winning. Steelers, Panthers. They're young, 7-9, like you said. Could make some noise. Don't really like them. Chargers. Big Justin Herbert guy. I've always been a huge guy of him. I just don't like the Chargers this year. Texans at number 11. They were just quietly pretty good this year. They aren't really flashy, I would say. There's a really anything special to them. I don't know. Number 10, I got the Packers. Nothing really doing it for me there. Number 9, I got the Eagles. Offense has been really bad as of late. It's been bad. You have all the receivers, and you haven't done really anything with them. It's just not been good for them. Number 8, I have the Bears. I have them up so high because I honestly think that they could beat all the teams below them. But that's kind of like after this, these are my like Super Bowl contenders. These are who I think have a real shot. At number 7, I got the 49ers. They're always really good. They always show up in the playoffs. You always see them show up in the playoffs. I really like the 49ers. Number 6, I got the Jaguars. Look at what they've done. Really good defense. The defense is actually phenomenal for these guys. If you have a half-decent offense and Liam Cohen has built that offense there, Jaguars look really scary, Grant. I think they need to have some things go their way, but I really do like them. Number 5, I got the Bills. You kind of know what you're getting yet again, but I kind of feel like the Bills, they got something here. Josh Allen, kind of a down year-ish. Kind of. It just feels like the Bills haven't had a lot of things go their way this year. It's just kind of how it is. I do like the Bills a lot, though. Number 4, I got the Rams. I'm a big Matthew Stafford guy, but this Rams team, they got what they need. But I think the 3 teams ahead of them really do. At number 3, I got the Seahawks. I really like the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are a really good team. You have Sam Darnold, who, let's be honest, hasn't really had the playoff, hasn't been in the playoffs, hasn't been in these high stakes matchups before. But the team he has around him also hasn't. But it's something about him, Grant. I really like him. I'm really high on him. At number 2, I got the Patriots. You have Drake May. He's young. This team's really young. Yet again, this is another team that I think has kind of outkicked their coverage, but I think that they're going to be able to back it up. Really like them overall. At number 1, I got the Broncos. Nobody's beat them. They've been unstoppable. I know what you're going to say. Bo Nix is young. Bo Nix doesn't have the experience. Bo Nix, yada, yada, yada. Sean Payton does. That's the only reason why I have them number 1. Sean Payton has had playoff success. I know what you're going to say. I know you're probably looking at the Rams. You're probably looking at the Bills. You're probably looking at the older teams, the teams that have kind of been in there before. But I really like the Broncos. I think Bo Nix is going to have a really good postseason. Overall, Broncos are going to be my Super Bowl champs. That's what I'm saying, Grant.
Yeah, I think that's our biggest difference. Everything else is kind of within a spot or two of each other. I understand where you're coming from. I obviously, we both value different things, so that's going to be the biggest thing there. It will be hard. They are the 1 seed, right, in the AFC? Yeah, and it'll be hard always playing up there. That is a really good environment up there. I mean, our rankings really aren't that much you can make argument for almost any of the top 7 teams to win it. I think that kind of goes without saying. The 49ers can, get healthy enough. They're always going to be up there. Broncos, we obviously talked about them. Jaguars have just been a really just solid team this year. There really isn't much to say there. The Bills have probably the best quarterback in the league. Rams have a bunch of talent on both sides of the ball. Seahawks have had an incredible defense this year, and the Patriots are just they've just been good this year. So it's really interesting. I feel like all these teams have such high floors that all of these games are going to be really competitive this year. I think is going to be a good thing.
There you go. Let's go rank some quarterbacks, Grant. We always tend to do this, but how many elite quarterbacks do you have? I have 6 in my list. How many do you have?
I have 5.
You have 5. Okay.
Yes,
Do
do
you want to go one at a time, or?
Yeah, let's go one at a time. So for me, first, when I think of an elite quarterback, to me, elite quarterback means if you get put on this team, you are at worst a second-round contender playoff, because there's no matter what team, there's no quarterback that he comes on your team, you're immediately Super Bowl contender. In my opinion, there's just no way, because you have to have so many more pieces in football. So for my first one, I have, because I was saying, it's Josh Allen. He is, in my opinion, the best quarterback right now, especially with Mahomes about to come off an ACL tear. You could say Allen took a step back this year, but it's because James Cook led the league in rush yards, so you can't really knock him for that. His defense has done him no help this year. So I think that he is probably the one quarterback that can do absolutely everything you could want, and that's why I think he's number 1 in an elite quarterback.
Yeah, I also have Josh Allen as my number 1. I agreed with everything. I know. I agreed with everything that you said. I think that he, like you said, took a step back, but in reality, I think as a team, they took a step back. A lot of people saying that McDermott as a coach is just, not helping them out here. But I think that he's the best quarterback in the league currently. Your next one, Grant?
I have Mahomes. After this, there's any order you could have. I know he's coming off an ACL tear and everything, but he's already won 3 Super Bowls. He's already one of the best playmakers, arguably ever. And he's just, I feel like this year was just a bad year for him. Everyone around him's getting older. His main target's probably going to retire after this year. But they do have some young weapons. They have Rashee Rice. They have I would love for them to figure out that running back situation. I don't like the platoon idea I don't know if they have their draft pick this year, but it's probably low. Maybe you could see him going after a Jeremiah Love or something. But yeah, I just think that if you're talking the top 5 quarterbacks, you're saying Mahomes' name 1 or 2, maybe 3 if you're kind of crazy, but he's definitely a top 5 quarterback in the league.
So I think that you ranked yours number wise. I just put them all in an elite ranking.
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't. So you just threw them all.
Those are just the first 2 names I think of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mahomes is on my list, but he's number 6. And number 2, in kind of like how I thought of these, I thought of Matthew Stafford. Look at the year he's had. He's been elite. Last year, I know in the last couple years, battled some injuries. Still really good quarterback. He's always up there. He's always been kind of like that guy. Like if he was just on a good team, he'd be a top 5 quarterback. He's on a good team now. Now he's a top 5 quarterback. So, the words have been backed up. But yeah, he's up there in my list. He's the number 2 guy I thought of.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Stafford is, if you just give him a decent O-line, he is just going to just throw it all over the place. And that's what the Rams have done for him. He's, like you say, he's the MVP favorite right now. I think he rightfully deserves the MVP. And I think that, some may say, oh, his record. I mean, he did go like 11-6, but at the end of the day, he was probably in the best division this year, and you can't really knock him for that. So yeah, I 100% with Stafford there. My next guy is Lamar Jackson. We all know who he is. He's won 2 MVPs. He is definitely top 5 quarterback. I don't know why I said that, but I mean, you should know what you're going to get from him. His team was injured this year. They had no defense for the first half of the year with all their injuries. So if you gave him a halfway middle road defense, I think he's in the playoffs. And if you gave him maybe a halfway good kicker, he's probably in the playoffs too. So, yeah, I have Lamar Jackson there.
I also have Lamar Jackson right here. We seem to great minds think alike, Grant. Yet again, kicker makes the kick there in the playoffs. I think that he's getting older. He's drafted in 2018. That's what, 8 years ago now?
Mm-hmm. Like roughly
28, 29. Almost, yeah. 29. Maybe 30. He's getting up there, and he's still doing things that, are still pretty unbelievable. He's always going to be an elite quarterback, at least for, I think, the next couple years. So, yeah.
All right. For my final one, I have Joe Burrow. For me, it's just, I don't know what Zach Taylor's doing up there half the time, man. I just don't know. That ownership is also bad. You have T. Higgins, you have Chase Brown, you have Jamar Chase, probably the best wide receiver in the NFL, but they just never have an O-line for him, and it's killer. They never have a defense either. They're constantly probably the 31st, 32nd worst defense in the NFL. He's having to just throw it all over the place, and I don't know. I feel like, could he leave? I don't know, because you have those 2 great weapons there, but I don't know. I feel like it sucks because I feel like we're constantly saying it's almost like the Stafford situation where like the team around him is just never good outside of the wires, outside the skill positions. And so like, I don't know. I just feel like if you put him on a Stafford type team, like where like the weapons around him are going, you have the line, you have great defense. This team is probably a top 5 team in the NFL, and it's just kind of sad to see there. But I think Burrow is an elite quarterback.
He's not on my list. He's in what I call, he's on my gray area list. My final 2 guys on my elite list are Jalen Hurts. I think that he's an elite quarterback. He's winning a lot of games. Sure, some people don't think he's that good. I think he's a really good quarterback. I think that he's able to lead this team. I know what you're going to say. This team's a super team. Yes, they are. You gotta do what you gotta do. I think he's an elite quarterback. He's winning games. He won a Super Bowl. That's a huge deal in the NFL. I think that he's an elite quarterback. That's just my opinion on him. And the last guy, you're not going to agree with, but I think he is, based off the past 2 years. I know what you're saying. 2 years isn't enough to qualify a quarterback to be on an elite list, but Sam Darnold has been an elite quarterback these past 2 years. I think he's what? He's won how many games did he win with the Vikings? 12? He won 13 with the Seahawks. 25 games. I think 25-10 is his record these past years. He's led the league multiple times passing. He's not leading them this year. I don't think he led them last year, but he's been a guy for the past 2 years. He's been really good. You can call him a glorified game manager. I don't think he is. I think that he elevates the teams that he's on. Sure, have they shown up in the playoffs? We don't really know yet. He didn't show up with the Vikings, but I really like Sam Darnold as an elite quarterback. I think that he's finally getting the recognition that he deserves. He's finally put in a system that fits him. The Jets didn't work out. The Panthers didn't work out. I think Sam Darnold's an elite quarterback, Grant.
Okay. I disagree. Obviously, he's not.
You don't.
Top. So, my thing with him is to me, he's more in the Brock Purdy situation where it's like he's been in two great systems. He's had a great wide receiver he's had a top 3 receiver every year, or for the past 2 years. My main issue with him is his pick issue. He's third in picks, and he's behind Geno Smith, and he's behind Tua. That's not good company whatsoever.
That's all right.
He was 5th in pass yards. I get it, I'm just not. I care more about what you have done in the postseason, the regular season. I'm way bigger on that. I believe more in moments. And last year, I forgot. I don't know who they played, but I remember it being almost like a 2-touchdown game. Like it really wasn't that close in the playoffs. It
wasn't close at all.
But yeah, so I can't really blame you for it. But at the same time, I feel like what can you differentiate between him and Brock Purdy when they're similar situations? They're great. They're both probably franchise quarterbacks, but
I don't
know.
Well,
I mean, there's quarterbacks that just
play
in great situations.
That's true. That's where I get into my list of there's the gray area and then there's the almost elite. I'm going to cover the almost elite. I got Purdy, Nix, May, Love, Stroud, Mayfield. These are guys that are younger. Mayfield's not younger. But these are guys that are younger. They're on good teams. The only odd one out kind of here is Mayfield. He's older. He's been around for a bit longer. I think he could be an elite quarterback, barring he wins some more games. He has a deeper playoff run. But the rest of these guys, Purdy's right there. I think Purdy next year is in the elite quarterback thing. The only reason I don't have him up there right now is, one, because he battled that injury last year. Can't really blame him for that, but battled the injury last year. Nix, May, both young. Love, he's getting there. I think he needs a really deep playoff run. He needs a really deep playoff run, and he needs to stay healthy. Stroud is getting there. I think he's getting there. He might not get there. That's why he's on the list.
Yeah, he's just had like a roller coaster 3 years. First year, he looked incredible.
Last year, bad.
Last year, injuries killed him. And this year, the defense has absolutely been insane. And he's been kind of just on the ride, it feels like. And there's nothing really like wrong with that. But is he a franchise quarterback? I guess, since he's young and he's talented and you know what he can be. But I'm not ready to call him a top 10 quarterback or anything. My second tier, I don't really have a name for it. I may be missing a couple of guys here, but I have Jaden Daniels. This year, he just injured. Everyone was injured. I have Drake May. I like what I've seen. I think he has probably a top 3 or 5 deep ball. His deep ball accuracy has been insane this year, especially considering you have Stephon Diggs, Demario Douglas, Hunter Henry. Those are really the 3 main guys there. And I have Jalen Hurts there. I just it just drives me insane that you're a wild card team with all that talent. And I get the whole offense, not just him, has been bad. Saquon Barkley, he hasn't had Saquon Barkley to help him much this year. The O-line has struggled. your wide receivers are constantly complaining they're not getting the ball thrown when they're winning games. I have Baker there too. In that tier, those are the four main names. I may be forgetting one. And then I have Purdy, Dak, and I have Darnold, Nixon, Williams. In the next tier, I think they're guys that they're in great systems. I could see Dak creeping up because of what he's doing right now. Caleb Williams is also on his way. I think for me, Darnold and Purdy will stay in that tier though because they are great quarterbacks. It's just they just can't do what every other quarterback can do, I feel like. So they're great. They're just great system quarterbacks. Like I can't really say anything much better about it. They're great. They're great system quarterbacks who get put in good situations, who have elite wide receivers, and I feel like that just goes a long way in the NFL. I feel like you can hide a good quarterback a little bit, like just a straight good quarterback. But I feel like you're not game planning on Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, and be like, we got to shut this guy down. You're more concerned about the weapons around him. Whereas if you look at the Josh Allens, the Mahomes, the Bros, the Staffords, the Jacksons of the world, you're like, we got to shut that guy down, not the people around him.
All right. I agree.
I'm not walking into whoever 49ers play this week, but Brock Purdy's that first name on that board.
In my opinion, he would be. You'd take him out of the game. I mean,
Christian McCaffrey is. Sorry. Oh, I'm just saying my opinion.
No.
It's just, I don't know. It's just I don't know. Quarterback's hard, man. I get it. Especially when you don't value the same thing. We could be here for another 2 hours talking about this.
Yep. And my third tier is kind of this gray area. These are guys that they've either been around for a while, they've been in just tough situations, or they have a good season and they have a bad season. Burrow, Prescott, Herbert, and Goff. Goff's older. He's been on some good teams. He can be good. I feel like now we're seeing him kind of turn into that Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, like you're saying. I think he's more of a system QB. Herbert just really hasn't had a coach. Let's be honest. He's got Harbaugh. They're in the playoffs now, but he hasn't really had a very ideal situation around him. He doesn't necessarily have weapons around him. He's a really talented quarterback. He's one of those guys that you kind of worry about going into a game about, like you said, but doesn't have anything really around him. Prescott had a really good year this year. He's had some good years last year. In the last couple of years, you kind of know what you're getting in him, though, at this point. You know what you're getting in him. Good quarterback. I think that there needs to be some changes for the Cowboys. And then Burrow. Been hurt. Got the weapons. But yeah. That's kind of my opinion. You got any more quarterbacks, Grant?
I don't think so. No, I think I'm good.
Okay, because Joe Burrow is an interesting case, and here's why. I think that for the Bengals, fire Zach Taylor immediately. Fire him as soon as possible. Get a defensive coach. Joe Burrow has essentially been their offense, their offensive mind. He's frustrated, clearly. I would be. Get him a defensive coach. Get him a defense. Get him something that he can come off on the sideline and go, okay, I know that I'm not going to be down 7, going back on the field. I think you get him a defense coach, you get his confidence back. You got him. The offense is there. You got the weapons. You got all the weapons you want on the offense. Get him a defensive coach. Get him a defensive coach.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they should have. I actually think they should have traded Trey Hendrickson because you can get a pick for him. You could get your main mission's been secondary, honestly, mainly to me. You could go get a solid secondary player. You can probably get a pick, and maybe you could get someone young out for because Trey Hendrickson is probably top 5 D lineman in the league. I feel like that's almost not negotiable or anything. But I think that they should have traded him. Probably almost half their cap space is dedicated to T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow. But I feel like they just missed a huge opportunity. Trey Hendrickson, I believe, got hurt at one point during the year, and his trade values plummeted. You should trade him while you could when he wanted that contract too, because you could have got so much for him. Because, in the NFL, there's so many players on the field. Like, one great player probably equals two good players, I would say, unless you're like in that true elite category. So I don't know why the Bengals didn't do that. That whole front office has been absolutely terrible. For some reason, they drafted Joe Burrow, they drafted Jamar Chase, they have T. Higgins. Outside of that, it's just been a pretty terrible situation. They haven't hit on their O-lineman. Joe Burrow is still constantly running for his life, and it's just been a really bad situation in Cincinnati. But I do hope they can turn around.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Ravens. And the kind of step, Grant. And I think that you need to decide what you need to do fast. Like you said earlier, your weapons are aging. You got Harbaugh. He's been there for 12 years, I want to say. Been there a while. Hadn't won a Super Bowl in a while. Hasn't competed for a Super Bowl in a while. You need to decide quick on what you want to do. You either say, Harbaugh, listen, you just say, John, there's a Jim. You say, it's John. Is it John or Jim?
I was just thinking about that. I think it's John. I'm like 90% sure it's John.
We know ball guys. They either go to Harbaugh and they say, listen, you got one more year. See what you do. I think that they need to get rid of him. I think that it's time you get rid of him. And I think you need to decide quick. You can't loom over this. You got Lamar. He's getting older. You got Derrick Henry. He's old. He's still productive. He's getting old. You got a lot of weapons around him. Getting old. You need to decide quick, and you need to draft well. Draft well. You look at their last couple draft picks, they've been hit or miss. They got a lot of hits, got a lot of misses, not a lot of just solid. You need to draft well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the AFC is so crazy. Like, that's why I think Josh Allen's time to win this whole thing is now, because Burrow's out, Mahomes is out, and Jackson is out. Like,
yep.
And like, I'm just so curious to see what the Ravens do, because like, how do you revamp this team when you lose, when you're probably going to lose, maybe not Derrick Henry next year, but he'll be out of here in 5 years probably. Mark Andrews is gone. You hope Isaiah Likely can step up. It'll just be interesting. I think you need another weapon. You paid what's the wide receiver's name? Not Duvernay. Guys, I don't know. They paid one of their wide receivers 3 years, $39 million extension. Rashad Bateman. They paid him 3 years, $39 million. He had 90 receiving yards this year, I think. That's a crime. You're paying a wide receiver $13 million a year, and he had 90 receiving yards. So I think you need a receiver, but that's the only thing you need to touch on offense. Everything else, you just need to go to the defense, figure it out, because you have probably the most versatile quarterback in NFL history out there. So I don't know. It's just interesting to see what they do. It'll be interesting to see what all the AFC teams do after watching the Broncos and the Patriots and all their young talent to rely on defense for winning games. It'll just be interesting to see what the former powerhouses will do.
There you go. As for the Chiefs, I think you blow up this roster. You know what you're getting in the Chiefs. They just blow it up. Travis Kelce needs to retire. You have a lot of distractions. You need to focus on Mahomes. He's getting older. 2017, when he was drafted. Also been in the league 10 years. You need to focus, kind of on Mahomes. You need to figure out the running back room. The running back rooms are a mess. Like you said earlier, 4 guys. Get 2 of them, maybe 3, really. You need to get rid of one, trade one, get some value back. Figure out what you're doing offensively with the receivers. And figure out the defense. Defense is a mess. This entire roster is just a mess. This entire team is just a mess. And maybe we're about to see a similar situation in Pete Carroll with the Raiders, that the game is maybe passing up Andy Reid. The game is maybe passing him up. Not saying that yet. Of course, Mahomes had the injury. So you need to figure out something soon. I think you need to blow it up. I think you need to get ahead of this before it gets worse. You still have value in a lot of those guys. Get rid of them now. Get the value back. build, build, build. You want to always be building for the future. Sure, you want to win now. I think that you could go all in and win now, but in reality, you need to build for the future. Mahomes, I feel like Mahomes is going to be there for a little bit longer than people think. He's, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think they really profited off a really bad AL West or AL, not AL West. It's the wrong sport.
NFC West.
AFC West.
AFC West.
Yeah, wrong sport. In AFC West, where I mean the Raiders are honestly still terrible, but the Broncos and Chargers are now up and coming. I think that really helped them a ton. I don't know. I'm with you. I think the two teams to watch this year or this offseason is the Ravens and the Chiefs to see are they willing to go spend more and try to compete with these younger teams with these young potential star quarterbacks. I agree. Running back situation is terrible. I loved Isaiah Pacheco before he got hurt last year. I don't know what's been hindering him or if they're just relying on him and Greenmont, who's getting really old now. I just think you just got to use some younger weapons. Your number one target, probably top 3 tight end ever's gone this year. Probably he should be gone at least. So I don't know. I'm just interested in what all these teams do.
There you go. We got one more football talk. We've been talking football for a while. Trust me, guys, we're about to switch up. Let's talk about our NFC favorite. My NFC favorite is the Rams. Grant. I know I said the Seahawks were ranked higher than them in my playoff rankings, but in my opinion, I like the Rams.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I think I just like what Stafford's done more than Darnold. I promise I'm not a Darnold or Purdy hater. I just don't think they're as good as Stafford and just haven't had the experience.
Switch over to basketball, and we got 2 guys that are possibly going to get traded, Grant. Trae Young, landing spots, in my opinion, is kind of out here. And I wouldn't say I'm a big basketball fan. I would say I'm a casual. But the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think, would really benefit from a guy like Trae Young. You have pieces that you could send to the Hawks for Trae Young while keeping what you got in Minnesota. And the 2 other teams I have that I can see Trae Young going to are he stays with the Hawks. I think he stays with them. If not, kind of a wild one, kind of one that I don't see happening, but one that I think would be fun, possibly. The Orlando Magic. You build around Trae Young down there. You got the money, you got that Disney money. I mean, shoot. See what happens. The odds are Dallas 300, Wizards plus 400. I think the Hawks are like plus 450, I think. I think that's the FanDuel odds. So your kind of opinion, Grant, on that?
Yeah, the team, I see all those places going there. The team that has picked up the most steam, which at first makes no sense, but when you dig into it, you look at financials, it makes sense, is the Washington Wizards. It makes absolutely no sense in the mind, but you can send him there for the rest of the year. You have Alex Sarr there, former number 2 pick, who I thought was the best prospect coming into the draft. You have Keyshawn George, the forward from Miami, or the wing from Miami. He has looked really good, taking a step in year 2. To make the money match, you'd have to send CJ McCollum to Atlanta on his expiring deal. That's around $40 million a year, and the money just makes sense there. I think for Trae Young, you need to go find you an up and coming forward or center like Alex Sarr, to where you can throw the lobs, he can space it still, he can still shoot the 3 ball, and it gives Trae just a restart. I think if you can find him a young team, his best teams were with John Collins, who could he just throw the lobs to, made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals with that team. So it's obvious you can build a team around Trae Young. It's just, can you make a good enough defensive team to hide him in the corner or something, guarding a guy. So I think he should go to the Wizards. Obviously, all those teams you said make sense, especially the Timberwolves, who don't have a point guard, making Dante DiVincenzo on point guard right now. He's a shooting guard. Anthony Edwards, obviously a shooting guard. Mike Conley's getting pretty old, so that also makes a ton of sense. I'd be curious to see what they have to send back. But yeah, you're 100% right. Trae Young has a very interesting market right now, especially with Jalen Johnson for the Hawks, who is probably seen as the franchise guy now, who can drop a triple-double at any given moment. So, yeah, I think that Trae Young fits best for the Wizards and what they're trying to do right now.
I really like the Magic, though. I think with Paolo Banchero, those guys down there. You got Cole Anthony still, but I mean,
He's with the Bucks.
you don't have Cole Anthony
It's
still.
Jalen Suggs now. It's just Jalen Suggs, and he can only defend.
Oh yeah, he's got that stupid neck thing too.
They banned that.
They banned it. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
fine.
All right.
Great. I think the Magic would be a great fit for him.
Yeah, it could, especially with their high prioritizing on defense, and for some reason, no one can shoot the ball when they go to the Magic. Desmond Bane struggled to start the year. He's fixing it a little bit, but I mean, we saw KCP couldn't shoot there, and he's not shooting that good in Memphis right now either. So, yeah.
Let's go to Giannis. I don't have the odds for this one. I think he stays with the Bucks. I think the Bucks build around him. I think they blow up everything. I know what you're saying. You could. A lot of people said the Knicks, but the Knicks reportedly pulled out or have nothing to do with it anymore. Those reports came out today, I'm pretty sure. The other teams that I could see, the Heat is one that I think makes perfect sense. The issue is, what do you build around them there? I mean, you got Bam. I just feel like Giannis doesn't really fit on a whole lot of teams. He just doesn't. Giannis is like the team that won the championship. It was Giannis's team. He was built around. I feel like he would struggle being added to like a super team, if that makes sense. And I feel like that's what the Bucks have been trying to do, and they just haven't been able to replicate it. Of course, you had Chris Middleton, and you had Eric Bledsoe. I mean, you had guys that were players that could play, that could outshine Giannis on any given night. But it's Giannis's team. And I think that you really need to harness that kind of ideology again. If not, it is just a fun one, in my opinion. Don't do the Spurs. Let's just see what happens. Wemby and Giannis on the Spurs. Let's see what happens down there in San Antonio. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, the Heat, the main three teams that I have seen, outside of him staying, which I think he'll stay because no team truly fits him right now, the three teams are the Heat, the Spurs, and the Hawks. Because Trae Young swap with Giannis, and then you send the Hawks, you send the Bucks, the Pelicans first-round pick, which is going to be really good because the Pelicans suck right now. I don't know why they trade that pick. So you give the Bucks a top 10 pick and Trae Young. And you build around Giannis and Jalen Johnson, which could fit really well. You obviously, him and Bam, Giannis and Bam would be great together. You could send Tyler Hero up there, Norman Powell. The interesting thing with the Spurs is they have all their capital. They've built this whole team out of draft picks, basically. The interesting thing them is what all you'd have to send. You would obviously either have to send Dylan Harper or Stephon Castle, and you'd probably have to send a few picks and Harrison Barnes, and that's about it really right now. Because Giannis and Wemby on the same team, that'd probably arguably be the best defense ever right now. And it's really interesting, but do the Spurs make a move? The Thunder, I believe, are 5-7 in their past 12. They have struggled ever since they started playing. The Spurs beat the Thunder 3 times in 2 weeks. So I'm interested to see, are you even going to make a move if you're confident you can beat them? Like, why blow it all up? Or not really blow it up, but why would you give away your assets you have now if you know you can already beat them? So I think that's interesting what happens to Josh. I think he stays. I want him to stay. I think he's great in Milwaukee. Milwaukee obviously loves him. It's just that the Damian Lillard situation just didn't work out, and now they have no assets. So I really hope they could make a trade for a guard or someone that would fit alongside him.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you cover this one, Grant. The rookies are shining. I don't know if you have anything. I don't really have anything for this one. Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Let's hear it.
This rookie class has been great, but way better than 2 years ago. I think that what I've loved to see, Knippel is probably the favorite right now. Cooper Flack is coming up. He's averaging close to 20, if not 20 now. Same with Knippel. Knippel, what I love about him, he is just going to be your guy. He's never going to be someone who averages 25. He's going to average 18, 19 throughout his career. He's going to shoot 40% from three. He's done great in Charlotte. Charlotte actually has a little bit of hope now. They have some pieces they can build around. He's on pace to shatter the three-point rookie record set by Keegan Murray, who has struggled as of late. recently, so I love what he's doing there. Knipple will be in the league 10, 12 plus years easily because of what he can do. He has probably the highest floor of any rookie. Cooper Flagg is obviously who everyone thought he'd be, probably one of the best prospects, obviously best prospects since Wemby. He has done what is an elite defender. His comp has been Kawhi Leonard, which I can see. I think he's just a little bit more athletic one. Derek Queen, who's looked great. He's had a little bit of unfair expectations with them trading up to get him. But he's looked really good. A post. He's not the greatest defender in the world, but he's a great facilitator. He can pass. He can shoot all three levels. Jeremiah Fears has looked good down there too. Trae Johnson has been an absolute sniper for the Wizards. So this whole rookie class has been really good so far, in my opinion. I love what this class has done. This class has been great. Probably the best class since 2021, 2022 when Cade's group came into the league. So yeah, and with next year's class, I think a bunch of people had questions about who's going to be the next face, and so it's probably going to be a foreign guy right now, but this next class for Americans is going to be great, especially this next year. You have Boozer, you have Peterson, you have DeBansa, you have Nate Ament, who struggled some, but he is looking to turn it around, and you have Michael Brown. So this next class is going to be insane, but the rookie class currently right now has been balling out, and it's probably been the best in a long time.
There you go. Who do you trust in the East, Grant? Because I got two teams. They're both at the top. I have a feeling I know who you trust because it's your boy. So I'm going to let you talk about your boy, and I'll talk about my guys.
Yeah, over the past year or so, I've became big on Detroit and Cade Cunningham, what they built. I saw what they kind of even though they lost the series, they out-physical the Knicks, and they're adopting that old style, bad boy Pistons style basketball. They're going to be a top 5 defense. They beat the Knicks by 30 last night, even though and they had everyone but Josh Hart, who has mightily struggled this year. My only issue with them, they haven't really been there yet. They haven't won a playoff series, but that team will be really good for a long time. I'll be interested to see if they make a trade. Been rumors of Michael Porter Jr. going there. It makes 100% sense. I would love for them to do that. The other team, I'm not going to say the Knicks because they have a bunch of defensive issues. Cat and Brunson are on the court. They're just not good defenders. Is when Jason Tatum comes back, assuming he does, they're already the 4 or 5 seed right now. The Celtics are. Somehow Jaylen Brown's playing like an MVP. He should be in the MVP conversation. They are the team, I think, to beat once he comes back because they have everything there. Maybe you trade for a post, but outside of that, this team is back together. Payne Pritchard's playing great. Derek Wright's playing better after his slow start, and Jaylen Brown's playing incredible. So I think that this team, once he's back, I think they are the team to beat above the Pistons. And after that, you have your Knicks, you have the Heat, and you have the Magic, and you have all those teams there.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Celtics. I think the Pistons are fun and young, but the Celtics, they're proven success. They're doing this without Jason Tatum. I think a lot of people might not forget that, but, if you look at NBA rankings, you see the Celtics are second seed, you're like, oh, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they're having a good year. They're doing it without Jason Tatum. They're doing it without really a post either, too. I mean, let's be honest here. I really think the Celtics, when Tatum comes back, which he should, like you said, they're the team to beat.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think you could make an argument, especially if they trade for a post.
Exactly. Who's the new favorite in the West, Grant?
Right now, for me, I want to say the Thunder, but with their recent struggles, they have trouble shooting the ball. That's like the one thing. They have the best defense in the league outside of that. I'm going to go with the Spurs. I think it is clear after the first game of the year that it is a matter of when Wemby becomes the best player in the world, not if. He is just one of one. He should. If it would be a crime if he did not finish as a top 10 player ever at this rate right now. Like, the only thing holding him back is injuries. If he can get that figured out, he will be probably one of the best ever. He's just 1-on-1. He can shoot outside. He's obviously 7'6". He can do whatever he wants. He can handle it like a guard. I think his defensive metrics are insane. They are the best defense when he's on the court, and their rating drops like double digits when he's not on the court with his defensive abilities, his defensive rating. So I think until you find an answer for Wemby, And until they start struggling, their guards start struggling, and Stephon Castle falls back to inefficient numbers, I think they're the team to beat because Thunder are great, but their weaknesses are finally starting to show after everyone put them in 2017 Golden State conversations. So I got to go with the Spurs due to what they're doing right now and that they're peaking right now. And Thunder need to trade for a shooter right now. And I think that I've seen more weaknesses with the Thunder than I have the Spurs so far this year.
I'm still going to go with the Thunder. Sure, they're struggling, but they're the best team in the league still. I'm still going to go with Thunder, if not the Spurs. I mean, it's a 1-2 race. They're neck and neck. Let's be honest here. I think Thunder's still their new favorite. I think they're going to win the West. I think that they're probably got the best shot to win the championship. Let's be honest here. Spurs, play them close. See what happens. Still a lot of season left. Still a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, let's go to some disappointing teams and players. My disappointing team is the Pacers. I know Halliburton's injured. I know you have a lot of injuries. It just felt like this offseason you also didn't do anything. You were in the NBA Finals last year. You almost won the NBA Finals, barring he stays healthy. You lose. They lost Miles Turner. They lose kind of just – it just felt like you kind of just gave up, all because he was hurt. My other team is the Pelicans. You see them go all in this offseason. Get DeJounte Murray. Build some weapons around Zion for him to be last. I know injuries, I know that, but still, you had a good draft too, I feel like. They had a good draft.
It's kind of the issue, they had a good draft. The issue is you traded next year's pick to go up in the draft for Derek Queen. But Derek Queen's been good, but he hasn't been top 3 pick good, which what that pick's going to be worth next year. So that's I don't know. It's just a weird situation there. The Pacers, they were going to be a second apron team. GMs freak out when they got to pay more money. Owners do. So, and they didn't think they were going to compete with Hallie not going to be there. So it's good they're tanking because they'll get a good pick. But I don't know. It kind of just looks like
it's a little worrisome.
It's like the ownership was like, well, let's not even try this year.
Yeah.
Which it's kind of sad to see, especially from a finals team. So, yeah, my disappointing team is kind of an obvious one. They've turned around slightly. It's the Clippers. The Clippers are playing like they're the oldest team in the league, and they are. Their defense is terrible. Kawhi Leonard has been phenomenal this year. Surprisingly enough, you'd think the reason why they're terrible is because he's not playing, but he's been incredible this year. He's playing like a top 15 player again. James Harden has been good, but outside of that, Zubac has struggled. Bradley Beal was terrible until he got injured for the year. And OKC has their pick, and that'll be a top 10 pick too. So it's just been a terrible, disastrous crash for the Clippers. Unless they somehow make a comeback and make the play-in, which I think they're kind of on pace to do right now, it's going to be a rough time in the Intuit Dome with them, especially with they've always been a little brother to the Lakers, and they're really showing it right now because they're just struggling, and the Lakers have a franchise player right now, and the Clippers really don't because they're all 35 years old.
And there you go. That wraps up the NBA. And we got 2 little baseball ones. Where's Cody Bellinger and Kyle Tucker going to land? And Grant, I kind of have it's going to sound confusing when I say it, but if Kyle Tucker goes to the Blue Jays or the Phillies, then Cody Bellinger will go back to the Yankees. If Cody Bellinger goes to the Blue Jays or the Phillies, I think that Kyle Tucker goes to the Yankees. I think it's those 3 teams. They both need a player like this. I feel like they're very similar. I feel like Bellinger's a bit better defender, in my opinion. A bit more versatile. Kyle Tucker's better bat, obviously. Take it or leave it. I think it's those 3 teams. They all 3 need an outfielder. They all 3 need some help. to cover what we're about to beat, who we're about to talk about next. Grant, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Tucker's ended up the Blue Jays, and I think Belly's going back to the Yankees. He hit 35-ish home runs for the Yankees last year. And what I've seen is that Kyle Tucker is waiting for Bellinger to sign, and Bellinger's waiting Tucker to sign so they can reset the market. It's really weird. It's like game of chicken almost, and it's like, I don't know. I would rather Kyle Tucker has just been a Mr. Consistent, constant, over 800 OPS guy. He didn't have the home runs last year, but he was getting on base, and that's all you want from him. He's just Mr. Consistent. Bellinger's obviously had, I don't want to say career year last year because he won MVP, right? Or just rookie of the year?
Who?
Bellinger. Did he ever win MVP? Or is it just rookie of the year for the Dodgers?
I feel like he won MVP. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he won MVP.
Yeah, he did. So you can't. It's almost like a career resurgence type thing.
Yeah.
You have 35 plus home runs. He just needs to go back to Yankee Stadium. It's easy to hit home runs there. They constantly lead the league in home runs. You know it's easy. So I guess they're just waiting for each other. They just want more money. Not like $250+ million is not enough money. So yeah, I think it's kind of just an easy conversation there. Blue Jays need it. They were kind of just slapping the ball around outside of Vlad last year. So I think Kyle Tucker would do great things for them.
Who's going to beat the Dodgers? I have Yankees, Mets, Blue Jays, the Phillies, and the Orioles. And the reason why I say the Orioles, they had a down year last year. Some injuries, yes. Orioles have the pieces. And we've been saying that for the past couple of years. I think they all put it together this upcoming season. And I think that they have it scares me, honestly, as a Yankees fan.
Yeah. I don't see the Mets. They've lost their two. They lost Nimmo. They lost Alonso. They lost Edwin Diaz. You lose almost a quarter of your production probably off that alone. I put the Baltimore and the Braves in the same conversation, they were both farm-grown teams, really talented farms. Both teams have struggled. Both teams fired their manager. So Braves did what they could. They got Yastrzemski. They got their shortstop finally. You signed one of the best relievers on the market. But in my opinion, no one's suiting the Dodgers anytime soon. It's just simple as that. Their one worry was bullpen, and you got a top 3 reliever in baseball, and that's all you needed to do. There were rumors Kyle Tucker was going to go there for a minute. So they don't really need to do anything. I don't see anyone in the NL competing with them. Maybe the Phillies, maybe the Braves somehow get it back.
Padres.
Padres maybe, yeah, but I feel like they haven't done a ton. They lost their reliever, Robert Suarez, who came to the Braves, but I think the potential firepower, I know I sound like a homer, even though we've missed playoffs last year, it's the Braves if they can figure it out. But if they can't figure it out, then I don't see anyone, because what the Braves' offense power could be, like in 2023, when they broke the record for most homers in a year, that has to happen, and that's not going to happen. So unless the Phillies and the Braves can do great things, if the Padres can get above, or not if they can get above, if they can take that next step. I feel like they've been hovering in the same spot for the past few years. If they can take that next step, that'd be great. Because the NL West isn't really that bad. Because the Giants are constantly an 82 win team. Padres are an 85 to 90 win team, and the Central is never good. Or if the Phillies or the Braves or the Mets don't do anything, it's just going to be the Dodgers for the next few years until there is a true weakness, which their weakness was bullpen, and they signed Edwin Diaz. And outside of that, nothing's going to change. The Dodgers are the best team in the world. And it's not close to me.
There you go. Got anything else, Grant?
Nope.
Been a long one.
Yeah.
Been a long one. But we're back. We will see you all probably Thursday, maybe. Hopefully this episode comes out tonight. I gotta edit. We gotta figure out how to make a new intro. And yeah, But it's been fun. It's been great. These are what the episodes are going to kind of be like. We want to throw some new stuff in there. The format might change a little bit. Might be quicker, might be shorter. There's hopefully going to be clips, hopefully going to be graphics with it. If you enjoyed, please hold on, Grant. You're going to love this. You ready? Please like and subscribe. I know. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate it. We're running it back again. We appreciate the support, all of that, and more. Check out the Instagram. Check out the Twitter. Hopefully going to be more active. Watch some sports. Jesus loves you. We'll see you Thursday. Hopefully this episode comes out tonight. If so, tell somebody. Tell somebody about it. That's it. See ya. We're back. See you guys.